Hi guys, so I recently turned 33 and for a long time leading up to my birthday I was wanting to make like a 33 life lessons that I've learnt in my 33 years of life, I guess. So I actually wanted to film this video a few weeks ago, but unfortunately on the night of my birthday one of my little kittens passed away, and it was really difficult and really traumatic, and I couldn't bring myself to do anything, let alone be happy on camera. So that's why there's been a few weeks with no videos, because just after that I left for my Cyprus holiday. So I've been back now for a few days and I'm ready to film. So here is my 33 life lessons from 33 years of age. These are going to be both general and financial, so a mix of everything. And yeah, I made a list. Let me know if you have anything else to add or if you maybe disagree with some of these things. But yeah, without further ado, let's kick off. The first thing I wrote down is that it's okay to outgrow people, and this took me a long time to learn. I always felt like I needed to hold on to people and do everything I can to keep them in my life. And when relationships, and I don't just mean romantic relationships, I mean any kind of relationship, friendship, when they were breaking down, I felt the need to hold on to them and keep them in my life. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that actually some people are just meant to be there for a minute and teach you something, bring something to your life, and then move on. So it is okay to outgrow those relationships, those friendships, change who you are and move on. The second thing I have written down is that success is what you say it is. It's not a specific mold that you have to adhere to. It's not you have to have the perfect marriage, family, children, house, cars, whatever else. It is what you want it to be. For me, success looks very different than the normal sort of standard success. Like, I don't want children. I don't aim to have a successful city job my whole life. I don't want to be mega wealthy. I want to just live a simple, financially free life, and to me that is success. So success is very different, and don't let people pressure you into what they think success is. So number 3 is be very generous with compliments and kindness and praise. I think for a lot of people, they don't show that they are going through a hard time maybe, and I know I'm definitely one of those people where unless you know me incredibly well, I generally maybe don't show as much if I'm having a hard time. So for example, if you saw me on my Cyprus holiday, you would have never thought that I was hurting as much as I was. And actually, sometimes all it takes is some kindness to make you feel a little bit better. So that's just an example, but you know, people go through different things, and I love watching like the videos where you just pay random compliments to strangers, and I do it quite often, and seeing the joy in their faces just through a simple wow, you look so nice, or oh my god, I love your dress, or whatever it is. So definitely do lots of that. Number 4 is save money as soon as you start making it. Honestly, this is probably one of my biggest financial regrets. And if I had started putting away at least 10%, where honestly, back when I first started working when I was 16, I could have saved a lot more than 10% of my salary. And obviously I was only working part-time, but actually had I started putting that money away or even investing it, I would be sitting on a lot more money right now, and it can really set you up for your whole adult life. So the second you start making money, at least 10%, if not more, should be going into emergency funds and investments. And that leads me to Number 5, which is actually don't let your money lose value, make sure you are investing it. So whatever you're investing it in, just make sure that it's not just sitting under your mattress or in a 0% bank account. Try to make it so you are outpacing inflation, so investing. Or if you're too scared to invest, then even if it's like the highest yield savings account, so you can at least not lose as much value as you will be. So if inflation is 10% and you've got a 4% interest rate, that's still better than 0, okay? Number 6 for me is something I'm still learning. I'm still struggling with. Like, I know it, I've learned the lesson, but I'm still struggling to implement it in my life. And that is that you can't do all of it. You can't do everything. And I'm still trying to, and I know it's impossible long term, but you can't do everything and you will just burn out if you try. And burnout is actually not a joke. So just try to focus on the most important things. Number 7, debt is a way to keep you in the hamster wheel of productivity. So avoid debt as much as you can. It is one of the biggest cons ever. Just avoid it. I know that things like mortgages, they're hard to avoid, right? But commercial debt, literally, unless you are absolutely in a position where you really need it, you should avoid it at all costs. Number 8, lifestyle creep is a real thing. So if you ever are living off of a certain salary and you're managing to get by without massive problems, and you get a raise or a promotion, just set up a direct debit for the difference in your pay to automatically go into savings or investments, or a mixture of both would be best, before you get used to having that money. It is one of the best ways to increase your wealth. I think I've talked about this before, you know, you are living off of a certain amount per month and you suddenly come into, I don't know, £500 a month more from a promotion. And if you start letting yourself spend it, all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, I can get a new car now. You finance a car, £300 per month. Or I want this, or I can get a better apartment. But if your car works fine and you're fine in your apartment and, you know, you're not living paycheck to paycheck, then actually, if you just continue living that way and start putting all of that into investments, you'll be able to have financial independence a lot sooner. Number 9, appreciate everything, even the small things, because you never know when you might lose them or when things might change so much that you will miss those things. Number 10, slightly potentially controversial, but I genuinely think that money does buy happiness, but not in the sense of material things. Money buys you time. You can buy time with money. You can pay someone to clean for you. You can pay someone to make your meals for you. You can work less because you have more money. Yes, it can't buy you happiness in terms of you can't really buy love with it. You can still feel maybe lonely or depressed, things like that. But how many of you could say that if you could work part-time, you wouldn't be somewhat happier? You know, things like that. If you had more time to spend with friends and family, to nurture friendships, relationships, wouldn't you be happier? So in that sense, money does buy happiness. Number 11 is that a big salary does not mean that someone is wealthy. The way that taxes work in a lot of countries, but you know, let's talk about the UK. Once you hit, for example, £100,000 per year, you start losing your personal allowance and things like that, and all sorts of different tax perks. So actually, just because someone is, for example, on £140,000 does not mean they make as much as you think they do, first of all. And second of all, quite often people are in so much debt that actually, even if they make that much money, they are paying back so much of it in interest and debt and things like that. So don't just take someone's salary as a measure of wealth. Number 12, it is never too late to start over. Whether it's a career, relationship, life in general, you know, I completely changed what I'm doing. I changed my career, I changed my country, my style of life. You know, I went from finance job in central London to basically a small village in Poland teaching English. So it is possible, it's never too late. And there is a book, I think, called The 100-Year Life, something like that. And you know, people are living longer and longer now. Do you really want to be in the same career, same thing for your whole 70 years of work, which essentially is what we're going to end up doing? So many people now, midway through their life, change the direction and career and things like that, and that's okay. Number 13, diet and exercise are super important and you should never let them fall by the wayside. It can cause you so many health problems and so many things out of whack that you'll then be paying for it for a very long time. Don't ignore it. Number 14 is another one that I still struggle with, despite knowing this with all of my heart. It is something that I find really difficult, but it is, don't stress about things you can't control, because stress is one of the worst things you can do for your body, for your health. And if you can't control the outcome, why would you stress? And for me, I stress over things that most of the time don't happen, but I'm still ruining my health by stressing over them. So try not to stress about things you can't control. Number 15, we do become a sum of the closest people that we hang out with. So be careful who you hang out with. You know, try to make it the kind of person that you would like to be, because you want people to be pulling you up, not dragging you down. Sort of touching on that is number 16, which is try to have friends of all ages if you can. Like, I'm someone who gets on with people of every age, and actually having friends in every age range helps me see things from different perspectives, and it makes me feel like a better, more well-rounded person, if you will. Number 17, happiness literally is a choice. You can choose to be happy most of the time. I'm not talking about things like mental illnesses and depression and things like that. I'm talking about just day-to-day life where you can choose to be happy. Like, you can get up in the morning and be like, oh my God, it's raining, not good, it's gloomy, it's dark, it's raining, whatever. For me, I get up and I'm like, wow, great, it's raining. The plants in the garden will get some water finally, and I don't have to water the garden and things like that. So try to make conscious decisions to be happy. 18, less is more. Minimalism and just generally less clutter is one of the best ways of living and being happy. I've wanted to be a minimalist for a long time. It's not quite working out, but I'm very consciously trying to have less clutter, and the less clutter I have, the better I feel mentally. Number 19, listening to people is really important. And I mean active listening, actively trying to understand what they're trying to tell you, having conversations where you really try to understand their point of view. People will really appreciate that, because a lot of time people don't actually listen. They hear what they want to hear rather than what the person is actually saying. Number 20, budgeting is one of the most important, crucial things you can do to your personal finances. Like, if you don't have a budget, you're going nowhere with your finances. So make sure you have one. Get used to it from a young age and you will be amazing. Number 21, your gut feeling is right most of the time. Try to trust it. Don't go against your gut feeling, because especially as women, we have very good intuition. But generally as humans, we have good intuition. So if your gut is telling you, try to listen. Number 22, be kind to all animals. They are all just living creatures, innocent souls on this earth that just want to live. If you don't want to help them, if you don't want to be kind to them in that sense, just don't harm them. Every single living soul is here for a reason, and there is absolutely no need to harm them. You know, I even rescue like mice from my cats and from my house. Like, I take them outside and free them out in the woods. There is no need to be cruel. Number 23, related to that, never trust someone who doesn't like animals and who isn't kind to animals, because Someone who lacks the empathy towards animals generally isn't someone you should trust or be around. Again, I'm not talking about people, who aren't massive animal lovers. It's not about that. Not everyone needs to love animals, but I liken it to babies, for example, because I'm not a fan of babies. I don't love babies. I don't want babies. I'm not going to have babies in my house, as in my own. But that doesn't mean I would wish them harm, want them harmed, or harm them. It's the same with animals. You don't need to love them, but be kind to them. Number 24, give back. In every sense of the word, whether it's just positivity or kindness or money. Generally, I have actually genuinely found that karma in that sense is very real. And whenever I give back, I always get back tenfold from the universe. And that sounds wishy-washy, but it's true. I always find that when I'm kinder and I give back, I always have just much better luck in life. So I always try to give back. Number 25, fulfillment does not come from things. It comes from experiences, from peace. So buying a new dress or a new pair of shoes or whatever isn't going to actually give you fulfillment, even though it might feel like that in the moment. The best fulfillment you will get is just from having peace in your life and also from experiencing things. So things like travel, for example. Number 26, don't take everything so seriously. Have some fun. This is something that I've struggled with before. I'm generally someone who has always taken things quite seriously, and the older I get, the more I realize it's better to just let things bounce off you. It's better to have a joke, have some fun, and yeah. Number 27, don't let people's negativity bring you down. The amount of times I have heard people, both to me and to others, tell them that won't work, this won't work, you can't do that, that will never work, you'll never achieve that, that's too hard, whatever else. And I'm like, why would you do that? Don't let them stop you. If you want to achieve something and you truly believe you can, don't believe someone just tell you that you can't, because 9 times out of 10 I've found that they're wrong. And that leads me very closely to number 28, which is that energy vampires are real. I have had so many of them in my life, and I think it's because I'm generally someone who has extremely positive energy, and I somehow attract these energy vampires who just want to whine and vent to me and put all their negative energy into me. And I feel it. I feel those people when I'm sitting with them and they're telling me about how awful their life is. I can just feel the energy draining out of me. And it's taken me a long time to learn to not allow that. I avoid those types of people, but generally, even if someone does that to me, okay, my camera ran out of space. I had to delete some stuff. So going back, I generally don't let it affect me, is what I was trying to say. So I just listen, but in my head, I'm like, cool, everything is good, everything's positive. So yeah. Moving on. Number 29, health is wealth. Truly. Nothing is as important as your health. Prioritize it. Don't stress. Eat well. If you have the choice between eating healthy and working out or buying new clothes or a new handbag, choose health, because it all seems well and good whilst you have it, but once you lose it or something goes wrong, it can just throw your world upside down. So prioritize health, because even with things like the NHS, you never know how expensive health problems can be if what you're thinking about is money. But actually, when your health takes a turn, you're not even thinking about money. So health is wealth. Number 30 is make sure you ask your employer about all your potential benefits, because sometimes they don't tell you. I've had that experience before. I think I've talked about it on my channel, where I didn't know I could sign up to pension contributions from the employer into a private pension where I didn't have to put anything in. Literally, I missed out on so much free money just because no one told me. So make sure you ask all the questions. Number 31, sometimes an animal is the best soulmate you can have, in terms of don't let people actually tell you otherwise. Don't let people tell you it's just a dog, it's just a cat. They are just the most incredible creatures, and if you feel that connection, don't let other people tell you it's not there, because it is. Number 32, grief is different for everyone. Just because you don't see it, just because someone isn't showing that they are grieving, just because they don't show grief in the same way as you, doesn't mean they're not grieving. And number 33 is that comparison really is the thief of joy, honestly. I wish I wasn't comparing myself so much to other people throughout my 20s. I would have been a lot happier. And I have stopped comparing myself now, and I'm very happy. So don't compare yourself. Everyone is different. It's like that saying that flowers are beautiful, but so are fairy lights, you know? So you can't compare. And it kind of links back to what I said about success. That success doesn't mean this success is any different. They are just different kinds of success, if you will. So yes, that is it. This has been a long video. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know if you disagree or if you'd add anything. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.